Welcome to this week's edition of the Belau Report. I'm Jane Belau. Our guests this week are two old friends, and Wayne Gannaway, the Executive Director of the Olmsted County History Center.
Close. The History Center of Olmsted County.
Oh my goodness. And Ashley Evans, who is our new staffer, to introduce to our viewers. She is the events coordinator for the History Center of Olmsted County. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Wayne, what have you been doing since the last time you were on the program?
Well, Jane, we have been really busy planning for the future of what the History Center and our campus in Southwest Rochester will look like. And a big part of what we've been focusing on is the George Stoppel farmstead, as you recall from our previous conversations.
Yes, I do recall.
Yes, and we have finished restoring the smokehouse. We finished that earlier this year.
Now, what did you do to the smokehouse?
Well, we took it from something that was ready to fall over and be pushed over by the hill that it's built into something that is ready to stand tall for the next 100 years.
Good.
And the bell, Jane, we have a bell tower on the smokehouse, and the bell rings once again.
Oh, great.
So you got to come out to the smokehouse and ring the bell. Yep.
I will do that.
And we are also planning on beginning work on the giant barn, the bank barn. So we got money, thanks to the state legislature, $500,000 of legacy funding that was legislatively directed to the Stoppel barn. And next year, we will begin restoration of the barn. But that's just phase one. There'll be other phases to that work.
I want to clarify for our viewers, the bank barn means the barn is on a hill.
That's right. That's right. A bank barn is a barn where in order to get to the level where they put all the hay and the feed and so on, they build like driveways, if you will, earthen berms up to the entryways. And so it's basically banked. They call it a banked barn.
Good.
Yeah.
We didn't mean to commit the banks some more money, but we wanted to make clear that this is a realistic barn.
It's an authentic barn that was built in the 1870s, and this, you've heard me say it before, Jane, this collection of farm buildings is very unique in our area because they haven't been messed around with, they haven't been modernized, and they haven't been moved. So many historic buildings in Olmsted County have been messed around with or they've been moved. These ones are so unique in that they have been sitting tight there for more than 150 years. And they haven't been messed around with too much. And so they're very unique. And we've got big plans for them, Jane.
That's great. So now where are we at the fundraising?
Well, that will take some time. Thanks to the legacy funds, we've got a good start. We need to raise about a little over $3 million. And the legacy funds have already given us that $500,000, gave us a good boost. We also are applying for another legacy grant to put a new roof on the barn. And we'll find out about that grant application later this year.
That's shake shingles?
We're going to keep shingles because we do it the authentic way.
Okay.
We do it the way that the Stopples did
Okay.
it. And then we also are raising funds from foundations and other donors. And we do have a challenge grant from an important Midwestern foundation. And I'll be able to share more with folks on that later, but it's with the Jeffers Foundation. So we're pretty excited about this challenge grant. That is a big boost for us.
Is it a 1-for-1?
It's a 2-for-1. For every
2 for
dollar,
1.
yes, for every dollar
That's
they give
even better.
Well, no, we have to bring $2 for every dollar they give us.
Okay.
So we've got our work cut out for us, and it's not for the faint of heart, Jane, but we are not faint of heart.
No, I know that. I know that.
And Jane, I was talking to you about our vision for the future of the farmstead, and here we were looking at the plan, and
Look at that.
yep, it's called an interpretive plan, and basically it lays out all the stories we're going to tell and how we're going to tell them. And you can see we've got some beautiful illustrations in there that suggest the gardens that we're going to have around the barn and the farmstead, because we want people to, when they visit, to be an immersive experience of what it's like to be on a farm in the 1860s and to grow food. What was it like to grow your own food? Not to be able to go to the grocery store. And we also are going to restore the stone house, and people will be able to come into the kitchen of the stone house, and kids will be able to see how they cooked a meal. So all of this is going to require restoring the buildings, and then to create the exhibits and the programming inside the buildings as well. And so some really exciting stuff is happening. The interpretive plan has lots of
You're going to
details.
take us through it.
Well, I can tell you some of the highlights. Let me give you some of the highlights. One is we're going to create a classroom in the lower level of the barn. Right now, it's where they kept the cattle. But when we're done with it, in phase 2 of the barn restoration, we're going to have a really nice classroom for students to come and have lessons about what it meant to be a settler in the 1860s in Minnesota, what it meant to be an immigrant in the 1860s, and maybe even what it means today to be an immigrant or to grow your own food. So that's one part of our vision. The other part is to make what we call an object theater in the smokehouse. So that's where people will walk up into the smokehouse and they'll hear recorded voices that'll be narrating what it's like to work on a farm in the 1860s. And it'll be immersive, and they'll be just like they are part of the scene, like they're witnessing those historic figures in the 1860s.
You know, the Dakotas are talking about similar experiences for students, but you are the first one that's talking about taking an existing property and showing how you would develop that into a modern day agriculture.
Exactly, you're right, Jane. We don't want people just to think of pioneer farming. We want them to also think about, what does this tell us about modern farming?
Yes.
And where our food comes from, because
Yep.
it's so important. It's so important. That's going to be part of what this interpretive plan will help us
That makes it totally relevant to what Minnesota will be looking at as a food producer.
Absolutely. And we all need to really understand why it's important for us.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, take us through the highlights.
Okay. Well, yeah, so we'll have the classroom that I mentioned. We will also have the caves, and the caves are people will be able to go into, we have 2 caves. The Stoppels just love digging. They just love digging caves. And so they dug out in this hill very deep caves. And family legend has it that very first winter in 1856, they didn't have time to build a cabin. So family legend has it that they lived that first winter in a cave. Now we don't know which cave, but that's a story we'll tell. But they usually use the caves for preserving food, like a giant walk-in refrigerator. And maybe they stored beer or wine in there. But we're also going to have nature trails, a challenge course that incorporates tasks or exercises that make you feel like you're on a farm in the 1860s. So it'll be a full experience. So,
And this will take what, 2 years?
oh, this is going to take a little longer than that. We expect to restore the barn and the stone house by 2027,
Okay.
maybe 2028, and probably not until 2028 will all of the details in this plan really come to fruition. It'll take some time, but you got to have a big vision, Jane. You really got to have something to
Absolutely,
strive
I
for.
understand that.
And if people want to learn more and actually look through it, all they have to do is contact the History Center, and we'll share this with them. We want to share this
Good,
with everyone.
good. Okay, the highlights then?
Yep, those are the highlights. So I think we covered them all.
And all you need is money.
All we need is money. Yep, all we need is money.
And you have a grant now,
Yep.
and you're waiting for another one?
Yep, we're waiting for another one, and then we are going to be also raising money to match this challenge grant.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. But, Jane, you know what? I also have to, some people say that I talk too much about the Stoppel Farmstead. So I have to tell you, we have a lot of other things going on at the History Center.
Okay.
Yep, and right now, this is the special time of the year for the History Center when the creepy dolls come out. And I'm really excited to share some of the details about that.
Okay. And that brings us to Ashley Evans, who is the coordinator of special events.
Yes.
And you want to tell us about the creepy dolls?
Yeah, there are a couple different ways that people can engage with it, mainly 3 different ways. That is with our exhibit, through our party, or on our social media, actually. Our exhibit is just in our museum, and it's interspersed through all of our other exhibits, so you kind of get to see everything at once. This year, our theme is a murder mystery. So last year's doll that was deemed the creepiest threw a party, and her guests are the new dolls this year. However, she didn't make it out of her party alive. So we challenge our visitors to come in, look at the displays, and try to figure out who killed the doll. Last year's winner, Blair. And as part of our creepy dolls, each year we've done our cocktail party. This year it's a masquerade ball that's going to be at the Chateau Theater on October 13th at 7 p.m. So it's
October what?
13th.
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 Okay.
It is 18 and up, but there'll be dinner, a cash bar, costume contest, and just a lot of fun things happening that night. But our exhibit itself runs until the end of October, and we will keep posting Creepy Dolls content, information about the dolls, the history of them, throughout the month as well on our social media, and people can vote for who they think is the creepiest of our dolls this year.
Okay, and now let's talk about the whole event.
Yeah. So like I said, it'll be at the Chateau Theater downtown. It is 18 and up this year. I believe it was last year as well, but this year it is, again, 18 and older. There'll be dinner, thanks to our sponsor, Hy-Vee. Our cash bar will be provided by Blue Duck. We'll have live painting, a costume contest, dancing, a DJ, just a lot going on. So people can, the doors open at 6. We love if people buy their tickets ahead of time on our website, olmstedhistory.com/events. Otherwise, they can get tickets at the door and then just have a fun evening.
Okay.
And Jane, if people can't make it to we hope they can come to the party at the Chateau Theater. But as Ashley said, these creepy dolls are going to be on exhibit at the History Center throughout the month.
Okay.
And something to keep in mind, Jane, these dolls are dolls that people donated to us over our 100-year history. So the History Center, over our 100 years, people have donated dolls, people from Olmsted County. So all of these dolls are from Olmsted County, and all of these dolls are old. So sometimes people send us dolls from like Florida. Please don't send us your dolls from Florida, because we only accept artifacts and archival material that's relevant to Olmsted County history.
That's good.
Yep. And these dolls help tell a story about Olmsted County history.
How do they tell a story?
I'm glad you asked. Actually, in the past, we've had a doll that was made out of corn husks. Now, if you think about it, if you were a girl growing up on a farm in Olmsted County and you wanted a doll, but maybe you didn't have the money to buy one at the store, what could you do? Well, you've got a lot of corn husks laying around, so that's one way. And that tells us about how people made do, how they got by, but also tells us that every kid wants a doll.
Yeah.
Every kid wants a doll. It doesn't matter if you grew up on a farm, you grow up in a city, dolls are universal. And that's the story. That's what tells us about Olmsted County.
Okay. And if people still have dolls from when they were little, they might give them to you?
Sure, they can give us a call and arrange to bring their doll in, and we'll take a look at it.
Yeah. And you'll decide if it represents something. Okay.
That's correct. You've got it, Jane.
I have a doll.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
When I was a little girl. My godfather, though, lived in New York City, and he sent me one.
Oh, wow.
Now, that came to Fertile, Minnesota, so that would qualify as a Minnesota doll, right?
It could very well. Could
Yeah.
very well.
So, well, we'll have to see whether that meets your standards.
That's right. Well, we'll
All
have to
right.
take a look. Yep.
Okay, so the dolls are, how do they fit into this night of fun?
Yeah. So we will actually kind of on Friday the 13th, so this Friday, the dolls will kind of disappear from the museum, and we are moving the entire exhibit over to the chateau. So if people want to see the dolls and have kind of the whole experience, we highly recommend the event because we'll have it all set up, all of the clues to try to solve the mysteries, as well as with each doll we have the historical information, potentially where it came from, where it was made, the textiles and the materials. But we will have all of those. Our curator will be there to answer questions about the dolls, so they can actually maybe get more information than our exhibit would normally have, because our curator can kind of answer some of those questions firsthand. But they will be, you know, kind of front and center for people to look at, and they can vote who they think is the creepiest doll.
Now, where do these dolls stay the rest of the year?
They stay back in our vaults, in our collection, with I think over 20,000 other items that we try to bring out and represent. So,
Okay.
but yes, they stay back in our vaults.
And Jane, I'm glad you asked that question, because that is the heart and soul of the History Center, is preserving artifacts and objects and archival material. No one else does that in Olmsted County. We are the only ones, and more and more, as public support shrinks, the History Center needs the support of residents, because it actually costs a lot of money to safeguard and preserve all of these 20,000 objects, and even more pieces of paper and photographs. And we can't do it without the support of Olmsted County residents, and we hope the continued support of Olmsted County.
Well, good. Now, that's great. Now, that's on the 13th of October.
Yes.
Now, is that the only thing on the 13th of October?
Yes.
That's it for the Friday the 13th. And however, we do have a few other events coming up.
Okay.
One is Fall Fest.
Okay.
Fall Fest is our annual opportunity for families to come to the History Center on MEA weekend. Do you know
Yes.
what day that is?
Yeah, it is the Thursday of MEA. So kids will be out of school. There's no school that day in Minnesota,
Yeah.
so they'll be able to hopefully come and kind of enjoy that event, see some of our historic buildings, learn about them. There'll also be activities and food, pumpkin painting, the ability, like wagon rides, and just a bunch of other things going on for kids to kind of come out and experience different parts of the museum. It is actually free for adults, but it is $5 per kid,
That's
per
Fall
child.
Fest.
That's
Yeah,
Fall
that
Fest.
is Fall Fest.
Yep. And then we're not done yet, because of course we operate tours at Mayowood Mansion. Of course, Dr. Charlie and Edith's home. And we are having our annual Mayowood Christmas tours. And we're so excited with the theme this year. It's called Sing a Song of the Holidays. And so we will be decorating, we and volunteers from around the community will decorate each room around a specific song, a specific holiday song. So people can tour this magical setting and hear the song play, and also enjoy the atmosphere of Christmas at a place unlike any other Mayowood Mansion. And the tours begin November 4th, and they continue through December 17th. And
Wow.
you have to buy your tickets online at olmstedhistory.com.
Okay, and how much are tickets?
Tickets are $25 for an adult and $10 for children.
And most of that is support, right?
It supports the History Center.
Yes, yes,
Yep.
yes. But that's really exciting.
It is really exciting. Yep, it's Rochester loves the Mayowood Christmas.
I know.
It's been just
know.
a community favorite, and
Yep.
we're proud to continue the tradition.
So where's your music coming from?
Well, we haven't unveiled the songs yet, but we are going through the American Songbook and looking for the favorites. Both some of them you might hear in your place of worship, but some of them you might, maybe Bing Crosby sang one. So I can't share them and I won't sing them, but come to the Mayowood Mansion when we start this on November 4th.
Well, I hope to be part of the music.
Yeah, absolutely, Jane.
Well, that will be fun. Okay, so to summarize, we have the 13th coming up, and that's sort of celebrating Halloween, but it's the what doll?
The creepy dolls are Murder at the Masquerade.
Okay. And you'll have all of these dolls on exhibit, and people can come and see what they've got at home that will fit.
They certainly can, and give us a call if they do, if they get inspired after the party to have their dolls
Sure.
potentially be in next year's
Yeah,
contest.
but that, okay, that's the 13th.
Yes,
Now, the Fall Festival is the
19th.
19th,
Yes.
and that's at the Chateau.
Nope, that'll be at the History Center from 12 to 3.
All three.
12 to 3 p.m. Yes, at the History Center.
Noon to 3 on the
19th.
19th.
Okay.
That's Fall Fest.
And the Fall Center is going to be stories.
The Mayowood Christmas tours will be Sing a Song of the
Yeah,
Holidays.
but that'll be in November 4th.
Beginning November 4th, yep.
November 4th until when?
December 17th.
Okay, till December 17th. And then that will be maybe Bing Crosby or Taylor Swift or
Who
somebody
knows?
like
Taylor
that.
Swift. Yeah, I like that idea. I didn't know that you were a Swiftie.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, that's
good.
great.
Okay, so then the Fall Festival is when?
That's the 19th of
The
October.
19th.
Yes.
And what will be celebrated then?
It is, I mean, as we said, it's on MEA, so it is a great
That's right.
time for kids to come out and kind of
Oh,
see
good.
the
Good,
History
good,
Center
good.
and the buildings during the fall.
And run around.
And
Okay.
yeah, and run around.
run
Now,
around.
why should our viewers support all this history?
Because we are the only place that talks about history, that collects and preserves Olmsted County's cherished memories. We are the only place. Think about a big wide world that we live in. There's only one place that collects the artifacts and the special documents and photographs that tell the story of our community and our cherished memories. We're the only place.
Okay, Ashley, do you have anything to add?
I think that pretty much sums it up. It's a very unique place. I mean, every county's historical center or society is, and I mean, I recently just moved here, and I've learned so much about Olmsted County working here, and any visitor who comes to our museum can learn the same things about where they're from, where their family's from, where they live now, their ancestors, whatever it might be.
Okay, we know what it costs for the Mayowood tours, but we don't know what it costs for the dolls on the 13th
Oh,
or
yes.
the Fall Festival.
Yes, I forgot to mention about Creepy Dolls. It is $35 for regular admission. If you are a member at the History
Okay.
Center, then you can get the tickets for $30. That's just because we are providing a full meal at the event. For Fall Fest, I did think I might have mentioned there is no fee for adults, but it is $5 per child.
Oh, good.
And I'm glad you mentioned membership because members do get into the History Center free. So members can come in and see the Creepy Doll exhibit at the History Center for free and vote for which creepy doll they think is the creepiest. And they get in free all year long. And they get $5 off of Mayowood ticket tours
Okay.
During the regular season. So members get a lot of.
So how much is the membership?
Memberships vary. They run about, I think, $40 to about $60, depending on if you're a senior, a single, and so on. Just go to olmstedhistory.com
Okay.
and become a member. And you support your local history organization and you support local history.
Okay, and other counties are welcome to come, right?
Sure, other counties are welcome to join us.
It's not just for Olmsted County, because we're a southeastern Minnesota enterprise, and people might like to do something like that for their county.
Exactly, yeah. They can come out and get ideas at our county historical site.
Okay, Wayne Gannaway and Ashley Evans. We thank you for your time and your energy and your enthusiasm for the history of Olmsted County,
Thank you, Jane.
Thank
the
you.
Olmsted County History Center.
History Center of Olmsted County.
Well, we won't have a hard time finding it.
No, you
We
won't.
won't. Okay, thank you, our viewers, for your interest in the Olmsted County History Center. And we'll look for you at some of these events, if not all of them. And thank you for your interest in our local government, our nonprofits, our for-profits, and thank you for your interest in volunteering in any of these areas. So we'll be with you again next week, same time, same channel. Have a very good week.